obviously one of the biggest games, if not the biggest game of the season coming up. Manchester City hosting Arsenal. The big question is, who's going to win the game?
Well, it's going to be a very nerve-wracking night for everybody, Man City fans and Arsenal fans. But obviously Man City, being at home, will be big favourites to win the game.
I do feel that Arsenal are capable of doing something special. There'll be plenty of goals in this game, there's no doubt. That both managers play with a tremendous amount of freedom.
It's very difficult, this, because on one hand, I think what a story if Arsenal can go all the way and win the title. On the other hand, Manchester City seem to be the unstoppable train that we know them to be.
I think Manchester City will have too much for Arsenal, too much quality, too much strength in the midfield.
Arsenal's just got to go there, believe in themselves, maybe sit off a little bit, because you know Man City, it's all about Man City trying to attack Arsenal to try and get all 3 points, and maybe Arsenal should just nick one on the break with the pace of Martinelli and Saka on either side of the wings.
It's going to be a huge game. I think it's the defining game of the season. I think if I'm looking, I'm taking my Spurs head off here. I can't see anything but a Manchester City win.
A draw would be probably a good result for Arsenal, but why can't we believe that we can go there and win?
It's going to be a real tricky night for Arsenal. We all know that, but they've got to believe that they can get a result.
And I think on the night, they will just have that bit too much for Arsenal.
3-1 to Manchester City.
I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Manchester City.
So I'm hoping and believing that they can get a 1-1 draw, which will put them in a great position till the end of the season.
But I think we're in for an absolute cracker. But if you pushed me and you asked me to put a bet on, which I've never done, never been in a bookies in my life, I'd say it's going to be a draw, 2-2.
But it's Manchester City for me, and I reckon they'll win it by 3-2.
The reverse fixture was 3-1, so I think I'm going to have about the same and say 3-1 to Manchester City.
As much as I love Arsenal, I think this is Manchester City's time to win the treble.
Ooh, yeah. Well, that game's going to be massively significant. So what you need to do is interview me after that match, and we'll have all the answers for you.
I just cannot see past Manchester City.
If they can get a 1-1 draw, it gives them every opportunity to win the league, and then you've just got to take one game at a time. Old cliche, but whatever happens, it's been still a very, very top-class season for Arsenal if they do come second, but I'm hoping they can still do it.
Well, the bad news for my co-presenter Laura Woods is I'm afraid Manchester City will not only win the league, but that 3 points that they get against Arsenal will continue their momentum to carry on and win the title. Sorry, Laura.
It's Manchester City. It's in both of their hands at the moment, but this is the defining game. This is the game that's going to win the Premier League. And if everyone's predictions right, everyone thinks Arsenal's going to fall off. They haven't yet. But if Manchester City get the 3-1 victory, which I predict, then Manchester City will win the Premier League.